So the amount of time that it takes the average person to feel a negative emotion is like, let's say, somewhere between 5 and 30 seconds. People with BPD feel negative emotions more rapidly than people with normal brains. They feel those emotions more intensely. So they feel worse faster. The measurable blood flow to the negative circuits of their brain is actually increased. So they literally feel that emotion more intensely than average. And this is the actually most damaging thing in my clinical experience, is the amount of time, the duration of that negative emotional experience is way longer than average. So whereas I may get really upset for like 20 minutes or 30 minutes, like after about half an hour, I'll kind of cool down. Whereas if you look at some people with BPD, it will ruin their entire day, or that negative emotional experience can last for like 24 hours. So this is something that's really important to understand, because there's going to be a high amount of emotional activity in their brains. The second thing to understand about BPD is that the way that they feel about themselves is highly tied to the way that they are treated. So if you look at the core problem of BPD, in my opinion, this is kind of my take as a psychiatrist, it is a sense of self that is not well developed. So what does this kind of mean? This means that, let's say that I have like an opinion of myself, right? I believe, hey, my name is Alok. I'm like kind of like a decent dude. I'm not perfect. I'm not terrible. And so as I move through the world, I will get feedback, right? So if someone like yells at me at a grocery store, I have this sense of self which is different from the way that I'm treated. And so that provides me with resilience. If someone calls me a piece of crap, I'm not going to believe that, because I have an internal sense of self. Similarly, if someone walks up to me and is like, hey, you are the greatest thing since sliced bread, you are the Messiah, you are beautiful, you are amazing, you are perfect, I'm actually not going to believe that either, because I know, hey, like I'm flawed just like any other human being. So the way that what I think about myself is based on an internal sense of self-worth. And so depending on how I'm treated, I'll kind of like buffer against the way that people treat me. So if you look at when that sense of self-worth is not well developed, like teenagers are a really good example of this, right? So when you're a teenager, if everyone starts treating you like crap, you are going to feel like crap. And that's normal. That's part of the normal developmental process. So in the case of BPD, the core problem is that their sense of self isn't very well developed. So they're not as resilient to other people's changes. And so they become hypersensitive to the changes of other people. The third really, really core feature to understand about BPD, people with BPD have a huge fear of abandonment. And there's a very, very tight correlation between childhood trauma and the development of BPD. And chances are the nature of that trauma somehow creates a fear of abandonment within the person with BPD.